it's Jessii Vee. So as you can see, my hair is now curly again. It's always straight for like 3 days after Mandy does my hair, and then alas, I must wash it. I try and keep it straight for literally as long as I can, but then it starts getting greasy and gross and like everyone has to wash their hair at some point. And as you can see, I still have the cat ears on. I feel like they don't look as good with curly hair, but it's fine. It's fine. I'm still literally debating on wearing these throughout October, so let me know down below, like right now. Comment if you think that every video I should wear these cat ears, or if they're just weird and I should take them off. I just feel like if there's any time to wear cat ears, it's October? Because it's just like socially acceptable to wear Halloween type things, right? Even though any time of the year that should be socially acceptable. Anyway, so today we have one of my favorite types of videos, which is a creepypasta, and today it's not one that I wrote, it is one that I found online and found absolutely terrifying and thought that you guys would enjoy it as well. It is called I Didn't Shower for 21 Years, and as you can imagine, the second I heard that title I was like, I need to know more? Because that's a long time not to have a shower, if I might say so myself. But yeah, 95% of the time, creepypastas like these are anonymous. There's not usually a name that goes with them, and that's just sort of for the mystery type thing. But today's story is credited to red_grin, and I will put the link to his story down below in the description. This story is pretty long, so I don't think I'm gonna read it word for word. I'm gonna read you the scariest parts in a sequence that would like generally tell you the whole story, you know what I mean? So if you want to read the whole thing word for word, every single detail, the link is down below. But after you watch this video, I'm just saying you may not want to shower for 21 years. I don't know. Just maybe. But anyways, before we get into it, don't forget to get your North Carolina tickets. The meet and greet is November 10th and 11th. And if your parents don't want to get a ticket to go with you to meet me, there is an area for the parents to hang out, and the place of the meet and greet is along a street with like shopping and restaurants and stuff like that. So if your parents want to do something while you're meeting me, they're totally able to. It's in a very convenient place. So yeah, tickets down below. Can't wait to meet you. Alright, so as I said before, this story is called I Didn't Shower for 21 Years. I have nightmares where I'm trapped in a shower. The drain is plugged and the water won't stop pouring down on me. Water rises to my ankles, to my waist, and then over my head. The shower curtain turns to glass and my screams turn to gargles. A dark figure presses its face against the glass on the other side and it watches me. I plead, but it won't let me out. I know where this nightmare came from. The incident is never far from my subconscious. Finding it is easy, getting over it is not. So clearly this guy has been through something absolutely terrible that has made him not want to shower for 21 years. And he has this reoccurring nightmare where he's drowning in the shower. And so what I'm about to read is the incident that happened to him that caused him to have these terrible flashbacks and nightmares. And I don't blame him because what I'm about to tell you is messed up. It was the summer of my 12th birthday when the Hudsons moved in across the street. 3 people, one of them was a really old woman. She was tiny, frail, skeletal almost. Thin white hair, faded blue flowery dress. Her head hung from her neck and it wobbled as the man pushed her up a makeshift wheelchair ramp into the house. At the time, I honestly couldn't figure out if she was dead or alive. A few minutes later, she appeared in an upstairs window, sitting in her wheelchair. She was directly facing my bedroom, and I cautiously peered out from behind my curtains. Her head was upright now, and she stared at me, just stared, without moving her head an inch. I closed my drapes. Imagine just being in your house and you're watching the people across the street from you move into their house, and then seeing that really old lady in her window across the street looking back at you, not moving, just staring. Like, I don't even know how I'd feel about that. For days, she sat at the window. I never saw anyone else in the room. I never saw her move from the wheelchair. At night, I nervously peeked through the crack in my drapes. Her silhouette was still at the window, lights off, staring out into the darkness of my bedroom. I couldn't tell, but I knew she was watching me. That almost makes me wonder, like, who is taking care of this poor lady? Like, she clearly can't move around herself, and she's sitting there day and night, hours on end, just staring out this window. I think I would ask my parents to move my bedroom, honestly. Like, I'd feel bad for her, but no one wants to be stared at all day long by an old lady. You know what I mean? So then rumors started going around the neighborhood about this old lady. It says people said she was a witch, or that she was just a doll, or that maybe she was actually dead. But I knew she wasn't dead. Sure, I never saw her move from that window, not even once. And I never saw her head turn, but I felt her eyes move as she studied me. So I began sleeping on the floor. The lower I was, the better. Maybe she couldn't see me if I was on the floor. Imagine being that desperate not to be seen. That is absolutely terrifying. I wouldn't even sleep in my bedroom. I'd like go downstairs in the living room on the couch or something. I told my parents that the old woman across the street was creeping me out. I pleaded with them to talk to the Hudsons and asked them to move her to a room without a window. They laughed and told me to let her live out her twilight years in peace. She was just watching the street, they said, and that probably made her feel happy and feel younger. A week later, there was some commotion at the Hudsons. I watched from my bedroom window as the man ran out of the house and opened up the double doors of his van. He then reappeared later, pushing the old woman in her wheelchair down the ramp. She looked rather frail than before. She couldn't have weighed more than 70 pounds. Her head was flung to the side, resting on her right shoulder. Her body jostled around in the wheelchair, but her eyes never left me. She watched me the whole time. So then it talks about the man putting her in the car and driving off. So clearly she's probably going to a hospital of some sort. She's not in a good state. She's really sick, not doing well, but anything that she does, her eyes are always watching this guy. And it even says that as the van was going down the road to the hospital, her face was expressionless and emotionless. Her tongue slightly hung out from the right side of her mouth, and her eyes were on mine and they stayed on me. So imagine just like watching the van go down the street and the lady's like as it's going down the road. Oh my gosh. So then it talks about how her condition wasn't very good, she wasn't very healthy, so the Hudsons decided to put her into an old people's home. It says she wouldn't ever be coming back, and he said, as I went to my bedroom and I looked across the street, I smiled because her window was finally empty. Then the next day, still there was no sign of the woman. No one was there, no wheelchair, but the bedroom light was on. I remember telling my dad that I thought it was strange, and he just shrugged and said, must be on some sort of timer or something. Then in the middle of the night, I nervously peered out of my bedroom window. Her light was still on, but it suddenly flicked off, and I ducked below my window frame. I slowly looked out again, expecting to see the silhouette of that tiny skeletal being. I watched for 10 minutes, straining my eyes, and the lights quickly flickered on and off again, but there was no sign of her being in there. But I decided to sleep on the floor again, clutching my pillowcase. So it sucks because this guy finally thinks this old woman is away. He finally thinks he has some sort of relief, but still it's like she's still there taunting him, even though he can't physically see her. Her lights are on, they're flickering, something's acting really weird. I had a late baseball practice the next evening. When I got home, my house was empty. My parents were at my little sister's softball game, so I headed to the shower to rinse off. About 3 minutes into my shower, I felt cold. The hot steam was escaping the bathroom somehow, which didn't make sense because I had shut the door. I wiped the shampoo from my eyes, turned my head, and I heard a strange noise that would haunt me in nightmares for years. The metal rings of the shower curtain were being dragged across the shower rod. Someone was slowly opening the curtain. Oh my gosh, can you even imagine? I know a lot of people are scared of showers, and literally me as an adult. It's a little bit embarrassing, but whenever I'm shampooing my hair and I'm closing my eyes because I don't want it to get in my eyes, I always wonder if while my eyes are closed, someone's like in the washroom watching me or something's gonna happen. You just feel so vulnerable when you're shampooing your hair, right? Anyone else with me on that? The shampoo stung my eyes, and through the stinging, I saw a dark figure behind the curtain. Long, pale, bony fingers gripped the curtain as it slowly opened. I instinctively backed up in the shower, and the curtain opened completely. There stood the old woman, and all these years later, I can still draw you a vivid picture of the horrifying image in front of me. Disheveled white hair, crazy in her eyes, bones jutting out from underneath her stretched skin. She had warts all over her body. She smiled grotesquely, and I felt the shower tile against my back and the hot water pounding my face.
August,
she mumbled.
August, August, August.
Was that creepy enough? I don't know.
August. August.
I leapt past her, knocking her tiny body to the floor. I ran downstairs, sopping wet. And he basically ran right out of there, down the street and down to his friend's house. And what's so creepy about this story is that that wasn't her ghost or anything, because it says when the police arrived, they found the old woman crumpled to a heap in the bathroom. So she was actually there. Like, she actually made it to his house to go see him. The shower was still running. The policeman admired me for my bravery. I told them what she said to me.
August.
And asked if they knew what it could have meant.
Well, it'll be August in a few days.
One of them shrugged.
And you can never fully understand old and crazy, son.
So then the Hudsons eventually decided to sell the house that they had. And it says the way they explained it was that somehow in some way the woman managed to escape the old people's home and catch a bus back to our town. It never quite made sense to me because she was so old, so frail, and so helpless. She could barely move those weeks that she lived in the house, so how did she manage to travel hundreds of miles on her own? Anyway, you can imagine what this did to me. I didn't shower for 21 years. I took baths, which I suppose aren't that different. It's still a tub. It involves hot soapy water, but a shower with its closed curtain, water peppering the tub floor, and steam climbing the walls. You can get lost inside your own head in the shower. Thoughts consume you and it feels so utterly unsafe. For a few minutes you are alone from the world. It's your own private misty kingdom. Oh my gosh, I've never heard of a shower being described that way before. But what makes a shower so dangerous is that you're enclosed, you're vulnerable, you're exposed. So a few months ago, so this is now present day, so when this happened this guy was 12. So now he's probably, gosh, in his 30s. It says a few months ago, something inside me clicked and I felt the urge to re-examine the incident. It was almost like a voice in my head was telling me to do it. My head wanted closure. I spent hours online one night trying to track down any information on the Hudsons and the old woman. I finally found out what I was looking for, an obituary for the old woman. She had only died 4 years ago. It says somehow that walking skeleton had lived for another 15 years after that incident. So she lived quite a long time. The obituary photo was a black and white picture from when she was a young woman. It was a photo of her and her deceased husband on their wedding day. His name was August, and he looked exactly like me. I closed my browser and stared at my computer desktop for 10 minutes. It finally made more sense why she called me August, why she was obsessed with watching me. For a small moment, I felt a little better. Things always feel better when they make more sense.
Honey, is everything okay?
It was my wife. Then it says he took the first shower that he had taken in years that night. And he said he didn't even jump when his wife entered the bathroom. But one question couldn't leave my head, it says. How come the young woman in that wedding picture looks exactly like my wife? Dun dun dun! So that last question just hit me like a bunch of bricks and it freaked me out so much. So clearly if you sort of analyze this story, it's sort of about time travel and how this frail old lady was actually this guy's wife. That's why she was watching him. That's why she wanted to bus all the way back to him when she was sent away. That's why she wandered into his house to see him. It's just so freaky and I wanted to tell you guys. So definitely let me know what you think about this story. And as I said before, the link to the full story is down below in the description. And there are some things that I left out because I'm trying to keep it relatively PG here. But this is the general story and I think the writer is so amazing. It's so gripping, so mysterious. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Definitely let me know if you want me to continue telling these creepypastas. Do you like when I sort of summarize it more and bring in my own opinions, or do you like when I just read the story word for word all the way through? Let me know which sort of version you prefer. But yeah, I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day. Don't forget the North Carolina tickets are down below in the description. Before I get going, I am going to mention the new members of my channel. So we have Athmal Fan Art, Sean G, Umbreon Games, Kimberly Dawn Ryan, Janice Harris, Iconic Angel, Gracie, Macy Cole, Kawaii Life, Holly Machini, Desire Loiver, Lexi Barnes, Marco Ramirez, Lily Ohren, Elena Ulmbrandt, Alyssa Ledon, Kennedy Remedy, Evelyn Cabrera. Thank you guys so much for becoming members of my channel. It really means the world to me and I love you so much. But yeah, I will see you very soon in my next video. Have a good day, guys. Bye!